Hey, it's David again from Southgate Travel. Today I want to talk about Wi-Fi drink packages. These can be very confusing, especially for new cruisers. I'm going to explain and let you know all the hacks. Wi-Fi drink packages can be very confusing for new cruisers. They don't even know that you have to purchase a Wi-Fi package. And it can be very confusing and very expensive if you purchase the wrong product. So I'm going to go through a few scenarios and suggest how you can purchase wisely and save yourself some money on Wi-Fi packages. So the cheapest Wi-Fi package is no Wi-Fi packages. If you anticipate your needs and you fit into a certain use case, you can really save by just avoiding Wi-Fi packages. The first thing to understand is what you're going to use your Wi-Fi package for and what kind of browsing or connectivity you're going to need on the ship. If you truly need 24 by 7, I'm working here, I have to be attached, you want to get a good reliable drink package from ship. There's no question. If you're a recreational traveler and can be disconnected for a day, then you may not need a drink package. So I'll go through some of the options, some of the features that are available that you may not even know you have on the ship. The first thing is most ships now, especially like MSC, who we've sailed with mostly recently, they have MSC for me, and they have messaging, free messaging. So you sign into their Wi-Fi on board and you get free messaging between your friends. You identify your friends in your MSC app and you can all roam across the ship and say, oh, I'll meet you at the pub at 8 o'clock tonight, or I'm on my way to the pub, I'll be there in 5 minutes. This is all free. That messaging is all free. So if it's you and your wife and she's off somewhere exploring and you're up at the pool, that's right. You can stay in touch. The caveat is if you're roaming around the ship, you will occasionally, your Wi-Fi will drop. There's some areas, probably by design, the Wi-Fi isn't very good. And a good example is the theater on the seashore. If you go in there, you seem to lose the ship Wi-Fi. So as soon as you lose that Wi-Fi, this is the limited ship Wi-Fi. This is just the Wi-Fi you get to use the app on the ship to check your online spend and things like that. So that's not the paid Wi-Fi. This is the free Wi-Fi. It allows for the messaging. But you can lose that signal, say in the theater, and be waiting for maybe your wife to say, oh, I'm going to meet you up on the Lido deck now. You'll be waiting and waiting because she's not going to be there. So it's important when you're using these packages, maybe check every 10 or 15 minutes. If you're expecting a message, just check your Wi-Fi and make sure it's connected on your phone. It's always a good idea. It's not a bad idea at all. Second strategy, especially if you're going to have a number of sea days on your cruise, is to download books, music, anything you might want to consume while you're on the ship. The libraries, we download a lot of books from the libraries, and they're just great. You open them up on the ship, around the pool, whatever. It's fantastic. I'll download movies. It's there and it's free. So just download them. Download movies and play them in your room. You may be able to, not that I've done it, but you may be able to connect your devices to the TV somehow and play your movies on the TV in the cabin. It can be done. So that's one strategy that's going to maybe eliminate your need for a Wi-Fi package. So the second strategy is using eSIMs on board. So you can buy an eSIM now for maybe $20 for a gig or two for 14 days and can be used in multiple countries. So you might want a worldwide SIM, or you might want a regional SIM in the Caribbean, maybe US and the Caribbean and Mexico, that kind of thing. You got various packages. You can even get them for free. The last two cruises we were on, I managed to find programs where you can kind of download and get a free SIM. They're affinity things with credit cards. So they want to get you kind of hooked into their SIM package, and then the next time you'll probably buy them if it works so good for you. I did a couple of those and it worked out really good. So there's a few things you got to realize when you're using the eSIM. So you can download your eSIM at home after you purchase it. You just download it to your phone. Here's a few of the screens. I'll show you how to do that. But you download it to your phone. You don't actually activate it until you get to your destination. So in Canada, I'll download the global, say a global eSIM. It's on my phone. I can actually go in to my settings on my phone and say, oh, there's a global eSIM. That's great. Don't activate it in Canada because you'll start paying right away. So what I typically do is, say we're flying in Port Canaveral. That's a pretty common port for us to be flying into. When we arrive, you have to connect to the airport Wi-Fi, and with the airport Wi-Fi, you can activate that eSIM. So then from then on, you got an eSIM. It works out for us because we're generally renting a car from Hertz usually, and then we'll use that for Google Maps. We usually are at the Orlando 2 days before our cruise, so that's usually 2 days of bombing around in a rental car where you're going to have your eSIM giving you data for Google Maps and Android Auto kind of thing. So that's the strategy we use, and that's worked really, really good. And when you're on the ship and you're entering a new port, you're going to pick up the cell towers in the new port. So say your cruise is going to Port Canaveral, you're going to have Wi-Fi while you're on the ship. You're going to have port Wi-Fi while you're leaving the harbor, and then once you get to sea, you're going to lose your Wi-Fi. When you go into your next port, which might be NASA, you're going to find that as you're entering the harbor, it's going to pick up the cell towers, and you're going to get it again. And as you go down to Mexico, it's the same thing. You're going to be pulling into port, you're going to have it, you're going to get it again, and you'll probably have your eSIM data until you're leaving those ports. Coming back, we've noticed that coming back to Port Canaveral, we probably had it a half hour or an hour before we actually docked in port. They seem to just like kind of float out at the mouth of the harbor, the river, whatever goes in Port Canaveral, and you can have data for all that period of time. So that's really good. They work out fantastic, and they're much, much cheaper than the onboard ship Wi-Fi, provided you don't need the connectivity on sea days. That's the main thing. So if you have your books downloaded, your music's downloaded, whatever else you might need is already downloaded to your phone or device, you don't need that instant communication on those sea days, you're set. An eSIM makes it easier. In the old days, you used to have to go into port and try to find open Wi-Fi and connect to it. And a lot of times there's open Wi-Fi, but you got to go, it's in a bar, and you got to go and buy a drink, and they'll give you a code, and then you connect. Used to, way back in the day in Nassau, McDonald's in Nassau was the big place everyone went. You go to Nassau, and there's about 50 cruise passengers connected to the Wi-Fi. In that kind of scenario, there's really no reason to do that anymore, because really, if you shop well, $5 or $10, maybe even get an eSIM, and you can use it on the ship while you're in port. So that's a really good strategy. So another strategy is a lot of your carrier packages will include connectivity in Canada, Mexico, the USA. There's a lot of those, and some maybe the Caribbean. But for sure, Canada, USA, Mexico, you're going to get that with a lot of your packages. But one caveat you got to have is when you pull a port and you're at sea, if you have roaming on and your device tries to connect to like a roam at sea kind of thing, Wi-Fi at sea, I believe, and it connects to those towers and you have roaming enabled, you will get dinged. It will be expensive. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure when you're in the port, okay, go off of airplane mode, and when you're leaving the port, turn the airplane mode back on, or you can have a problem with that. But they're great packages, and the beauty is you still have your same phone number. People can text you. You'll get your text eventually, even though you're disconnected at sea. You'll get them, the next day when you're in port or whatever. So it's still a good strategy. You just got to be careful about how you're doing this. The other part with this is a lot of the phone companies now, you'll get free Wi-Fi calling. So if you do have the eSIM in with your regular phone number, you can still call from your phone app, and that works fine. So you'll get your regular text messages. You'll be able to take and receive calls. The key will be never let your device roam on to a cellular at sea network, or you're not gonna be happy with the results. That's the big caveat with this. But they're also a great opportunity. You can really roam the world. Roam might be the word, a bad term, but you can really travel the world with these wireless programs, and they're just great. So if you've listened to all this and you say, but Dave, I still need that connectivity. I'm going away. I got a daughter that's going to have a baby in the next day or two, and I don't want to be out of pocket. I want to be available. Then you're going to have to get the onboard package for Wi-Fi. So when you're buying your package, be aware they're only good for one device generally, not two. So be aware of that. The other thing is a lot of them are limited by minutes for calling minutes and that kind of stuff. So they could be limitations. But sometimes you need it, or if it's a work-related thing and you're working at sea, obviously you're going to have it. And the Wi-Fi in the ships is far better than it used to be. So if that's what you need, there's nothing the matter with it. Just go and get them. You're better off a lot of times combining your package. So a lot of times if you're going to get a drink package and a Wi-Fi package, they can be priced very aggressively. It's probably the first things the cruise companies seem to discount, that before they even knock down the price of the cruise, like in a quote flash sale, you'll see a bundle of a Wi-Fi package and a drink package, and they can be good deals. Way better deal than trying to buy it on board, because once you're on board, they know they got you, and you're not going to get a deal. Anyway, I hope this helps. I invite you to subscribe, like, share, and comment. We love reading the comments. Encourage the comments. It's great. If you have any Wi-Fi hacks that I've missed, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear them. Anyway, have a great day. Dave again, Southgate Travel.